Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley, and an interesting battle actually. This is going to be an Ottoman civil war in Napoleon Total War. So two Ottoman players facing off against each other. My composition, let's start off with what I have in the middle. I have one of these 18-pounder foot artilleries. Let's go ahead and minimize the map. I'm just going to get some nice cinematics of my guys panning up. So here we go, I've decided to position this guy up on a hill. And then I have two of these howitzers. They're going to be rumbling into position. I decided to put them in the cover of the forest just to give them a little bit of protection because they don't have to have direct line of sight. They can shoot up and over these trees. So this is just as good a spot as any to start mounting up. And then I have some units hidden on the flank just to protect my guys. So two of the semi-janissaries. Silatar Guard, which are very, very good. I think these are the top tier cavalrymen that you can get. Let's take a look at these, looking super epic. Yeah, so I have one of those there. I have Nizam Jadid infantry, line infantry right here positioned, and then some Nizam Jadid light infantry. So those are my skirmishers. They're mostly the defensive force, and then Sifai Guard. So I have three overall heavy cavalry units. They're going over to the right, the flank. Two Banshee bazooks, and then a whole assortment, four of these light infantry, one of the melee infantry, and then two line infantry pushing the left to sweep that up. I didn't know where my opponent was going to spawn, and it seems that he decided to set himself up over in this position, and he is in a very interesting sort of all-out charge, very dense formations. Not a good move if your opponent has cavalry. And then he has a bunch of these trailing cavalrymen, but here we go. I think my artillery barrage is going to be incoming. I decided one of my cannons was in line of sight, but I told him to hold fire until the other cannon was deployed, just so we get massive volleys together. So there go our shots, and let's trace some of those as they come into this formation. So I waited to have perfect firing angles on both of my artillery pieces, fired both in quick succession, and that took not a huge chunk of my opponent, mostly air shots, but you can see it's starting to leave craters and bodies in their wake. So my opponent now realizes the danger he's in. He's going to start spreading out. However, take a look at the crest of that hill. I positioned my guys excellently, so I moved them over, took them off the hill, and positioned them right over here where they have exact line of sight on my opponent. And watch this. If this were real life, we'd be shooting into the trees, so maybe we'd have cleared those guys already. But yeah, we're going to be trailing a lot of shots, trying to hit his cavalry, which is massing over on the left flank. So my opponent seems to be all about these swarm tactics, but it's not going well for him. He's losing a lot of men in the approach. And finally, he's formed up into a big line, and he's going to be trying to chase after my cavalry. I positioned myself on the backside of a hill, which is to my advantage. That means all his gunner, infantry, and cavalry can't quite hit me, so I'm going to pull back to safety to the next ridge. And here comes some more volleys coming in here. That shot exploded just behind the camera. Luckily for my... Oh, not so lucky. I was going to say luckily for him I didn't hit anything, but here comes the massed follow-up volleys, destroying his guys. Here comes another one. Boom. Ripping these units apart. So I guess the first one was just a test shot, and the other kind of told everyone what range to shoot at. So we're destroying. There's one cavalry unit routed. The other three are going over there, and I'm continuing to just form up my guys in the woods. You can see some of them lined up here. I really love watching these artillery barrages. So that was the test shot. And here comes a couple more. Looks like they're going far. So lucky for these infantry, yeah, they're targeting the wrong position. He is getting some counter volleys. He does have an artillery piece in the back. So he's going to start shelling my positions. Meanwhile, my flank over here is moving forward. I have some artillery up on the hill. Like I said, with that perfect line of sight, shooting at these guys. I also then have some light infantry. Over on this front, I have again positioned myself behind a little lip. And my opponent is going to try and make an approach on this. You can see from his position, what he's seen is only retreat out of my forces. And so look at this. From their side, they're like, okay, a ton of infantry on our right. Let's go ahead and crest the hill and see what we can see. So here they come over the hill, and they're going to get their shots off, but look what's going to come and greet them. So here they go. They're going to try and hold me back. Some of his men are going to knock out the first ranks of my horsemen, but now we're going to charge into his guys all up the line. He's going to be shooting my men and quickly wheeling them about. It's not going to be in time. Here comes my heavy cavalry, and we're going to be chasing his guys down the hill. Looks like a bunch of his units are actually going to start firing blindly into this mess. They don't quite know who is who. They're going to be shooting into the mass of cavalry, and now here come my guys charging into his lines, absolutely disrupting them. Men being thrown all over the place. He hasn't formed up into square, and so I'm going to be just clobbering those guys, coming in with some more cavalry. Just my guys cleaning house over here. Meanwhile, in the center here, I've decided to push forward with 2 of my heavy melee infantry. A couple of my line units are going to be holding the center against my opponent in the distance. I'm going to send more waves of melee infantry up to the mix. Over here, my cavalry basically got fought off, so I peeled them off and I went to destroy the remainder of this cavalry. I'm going to be chasing them away. Meanwhile, over here, you can see my artillery is going to start targeting these guys, and if they don't get out of there, they're going to get either swarmed by cavalry, hit by artillery, or now they're going to get attacked by my incoming melee infantry who are coming in from the flank. Meanwhile, over here, Bashi bazookas are going to be pushing up the front. Mass of light infantry going to be lined up over here. Continuing to put the pot shots on his men as I force them back. Artillery over there doing tremendous amounts of damage. And I really want to watch some of my howitzers do their work. Looks like I've been chased out of the vicinity by his line infantry reforming, and these guys also reforming. So a little bit dangerous for my heavy cavalry. They're going to be pulling back, allowing my melee infantry here to do their work, what they were supposed to do. Continuing to chase these guys away. And my Bashi bazooks are taking the lead. Pretty light infantry, so they can chase after these guys very well. It looks like all of them are now going to charge into this line of unformed men. So there we go, straight up the center. We're going to crash into that, and we're going to push forward. Let me pop open the map just so it helps you guys a little bit. So this is my left flank. A lot of light infantry moving up here. A little bit of backup support in case he has cavalry, and then continued artillery support to push those guys back. Over in the center, more of my Samit Janissaries pushing forward. Line infantry to keep the opponents at bay. And then over here, I'm charging forward with the other one into his line of men. I've severely disrupted that. And I pulled one of my cavalry around through the forest. Looks like he's shooting the terrain, the ground. And I believe I'm going to try and form up for an assault. I don't know which target I'm going to end up picking. But yeah, I better choose soon, because my guys are getting shot up. So that's a problem for the heavy cavalry right there. They are going to be, oh shit, targeted from all sides. So it's a little micro lapse on my part. You can see I gave them a move order, but for some reason they're not going. They're very slow about it. And that's going to cost them a couple of their lives. But not the entirety of the unit. Looks like the enemy howitzer batteries are going to be incoming, and here comes the last reserves of the enemy infantry that was hidden over here, plus some more cavalry. He was hoping to get me drawn out, hit me in the flank. I was not falling for it, so I've reformed, pulled back to my guys, and then here my howitzers are going to retrain their shots on this incoming battery. Holy crap, do you see some of my shots going over here? It's a little hard to keep track of what's going on, but mostly all of these melee infantry are my guys chasing after his men. My own heavy cavalry is going to be chasing after this flank. And then let's go ahead and watch the greeting I'm going to give my opponent over here on this front, where he's going to line up for a second volley. His howitzer is going to land some shots, rain down hell on my men, but it's not without its own counter volleys. And somehow I was able to kill his general. Let's go. Where is that? Over here. Looks like my Bashi bazooks actually were able to kill my general somehow. He had his general's unit in his infantry. I've never seen someone do that. Interesting. But yeah, he's continuing to break down my Sipahi guards. I killed one of his units. I'm going to continue to push through, but I think he's going to get the rest of the fire on me. So unfortunately, we're isolated. Over in the center, back and forth. I'm always drawn to the explosives in Napoleon. They're so beautiful. Not much for him to do here. He could try and engage. It's only going to bring him closer in range with the artillery. Seems like he's going to take the bait anyways. And that's just going to make him confront, massed lines of light infantry. So let's watch the Civil War unleashed here. I'm going to minimize the map. Oh. God damn it. I think... Sorry about that. Let's minimize the map. There we go. We're back to where we were before. So let's watch this from this perspective over here. Couple volleys. Oh my god. Just destroying that line. That is a reassuring sight from these... this perspective. You see the artillery hammering the enemy. My infantry here, the line infantry, haven't even had to put a shot off. They're seeing all the other allies around them fire. And then, looks like now they're finally going to ready their guns. Let's watch this. Woo! Beautiful shots. And that is going to destroy the enemy. There you go. 2 of them broken outright by that initial volley. This last one here was not targeted by the artillery, so they are going to get 1 volley off. But I guarantee my counter volleys are going to destroy these guys. Even some of my artillery over there putting in the work, the hurt on these guys. Clearing that out. Now, back to the center. Looks like my melee infantry and heavy cavalry have broken this position in the battlefield. The remainder of my guys are cleaning up his men. I've been able to destroy what's left of his forces, and so now this is a little bit easier to follow. This is the remainder of my guys. My opponent's men are all basically on that side of the battlefield. My cannons are going to be targeting those guys, so it's now up to me to start pushing forward, but in doing so I'm going to expose myself to some of the heavy shots from his artillery. In the distance, man, I can't wait till they revisit this era and have some destruction in the trees. Look in the distance. You're going to be able to level stuff. Take the destruction and the tree burning from Attila and add that onto this, and you get some pretty horrific landscapes. Can't wait till they revisit gunpowder, sorry, with the upgraded graphics engines and stuff like that. Over here it looks like the house has actually been destroyed. I'm guessing it's because these guys have been firing from behind the house, so a nice hidden position, but some of their shots actually, yep, look at that, have been hitting the house, so they've pretty much destroyed the cover in front of them. A risky spot indeed. And here comes my forces pushing up. I'm going to start outranging my artillery, which is going to not bode super well for me. I don't quite know what's in the woods here. And I'm going to continue to push forward, but in doing so, my guys are getting stretched out, and they're getting kind of tired. Here comes a counter volley from his men in this position, and he has a lot more units over in the trees here. Looks like they've reformed the final couple of men. They look at my guys, and they're going to get volleys on all sides once they're in the cover of the forest. So pretty good position to be to hit my men. And there goes his artillery, knocking the door right here. And these battles in the forest with the burning buildings like that just gives me a very Civil War looking era. I've been to Gettysburg and sort of reminded me of a little bit of this view. Little round top, not so much like this, but just lines in the thick forest like this, holding a hilltop position, firing into the obscurity as lines charge at them. Very cool stuff. And his lines have somewhat reformed. So I'm going to see, I'm holding spacebar so you can see where my guys are going to be positioning themselves. I'm trying to get the fire on his men. And I'm bringing in more and more reinforcements slowly, but he is holding out for a while. Nowhere left for him to go. And let's see, my artillery should be, I think I'm going to limber him up. Yeah, look, I've already put the artillery back on their horses. And so I'm going to be moving these guys shortly into position so I can start shelling his positions. Looks like all of my artillery have actually been moved up. So I'll pull them up real soon. Over on the left, his guys are going to be charging my light infantry who have been caught all alone. Here's hoping we get a final volley off, although it doesn't look like it. Oh my god. That was brutal. So we're continuing to get shots off, but he's going to get in the mix. How many men does he have? 51 to my... Wait, no way, he has 119 men. Yeah, okay, he has 50, and I have 62. So actually, his guys against my light infantry, he should actually win that fight. So he's going to start turning my flank. Over here, he's going to continue to do it. So pretty well fought defense. He's got his guys in the woods, not taking too much damage. He's kind of pinned himself in the woods. He's got the artillery support. Starting to do a lot of, creeping fire on the edges of my flank. So yeah, doing pretty significant amounts of damage. Let's see if I've moved my artillery up. Yep, looks like they are moving up into position now. So I desperately need that. He is taking over my flank here, charging my light infantry. Yeah, he threw another unit into this, so he should be breaking that. And then he's going to start forcing the side here. I am chasing away some of his cavalry in the back. They did get some shots against my C5. These guys are exhausted, but they're still in the fight, chasing after his men, hoping to catch them. And if I can chase him, kill him, then I'll be able to go and hit the back of his men in the forest. Looks like he's going to start to slowly walk away. My guys, both forces, it seems, are exhausted, so this is the slowest fight you've ever seen. But I will overtake him, I think, in the forest. Anyways, my Banshee Bazooks have finally come back to the fight. They've been running all over the battlefield, and now it's their job to eliminate all enemy forces within the forest. They don't quite know what they're getting themselves into, but from what you can see here, I'm basically hitting him in the flank, so he doesn't have much left. We start to spot some movement in the distance, and I'm kind of flushing these guys out of the forest. More of the lines over in the distance. I'd imagine it'd be hard to figure out which of these red-coated figures are on your team or which aren't. But yeah, those guys have been chased out of the forest, The other one is then going to reposition and go straight for these units. The artillery, the howitzers here, knowing it's their last couple of moments, are going to try and shoot, I believe, canister shot. Oh, here comes the line infantry actually. Turning about, they're going to hold the line at their artillery piece. Burning forest right there. And just a couple of their comrades holding out here. He turned my flank. My artillery, however, is going to start destroying these guys. There we go. I want to watch this. Looks like they're going to fire. Whew, that took out a huge clump of my men. He's shooting with canister shot in here, so given the morale and how tired my guys are, I wouldn't be surprised if they start to break. But then again, it is only a couple extra feet. I love how the slowed down animation. Oh my god. Those volleys destroy my guys. But yeah, I love how when you guys are tired, they just literally slow down all the movement animations so people go in slow motion. It's kind of funny. But actually my guys broke somehow. They got into the fight and then they broke against these howitzers. So no real damage done there. My other Banshee bazookas are going to try and push into the fight, but it's not getting me anywhere. And then over here, he sent one line infantry against my cavalry. They had emerged from the forest with the scalps of the enemy. And now we're going to reform and push up against his infantry. When you're tired like this, it takes an eternity to get to your opponent, and he can... Oh, no, it looks like we're going to go ahead and charge. And he's formed up into square, so that's going to prevent me from moving forward. My guys are rearing up, unfortunately, and we're going to start doing some damage. I think he will get the best of me once his guys start reloading and firing into me. There we go. So he destroyed my line. The rest of my forces are continuing to push forward. Somehow his guys are still alive and kicking. Over in this position, I'm shelling his guys. My general himself is now going to be taking the main victory road right here. You can see the artillery barrage is coming in. He figures the battle is over. It's not quite over yet. My opponent is going to reform. So moving up through here, he still has somewhat healthy lines left over. My guys, however, are fresh. Some of them are exhausted. Those guys are going to perform worse than others. But now I have kind of the forest to cover me. And his guys are going to rout in the face of my discipline line. I'm going to move forward just to make sure that my volleys do hit him. Let's watch some of that. Nope. It looks like they're going to have to continue shuffling. So sometimes when that happens with your units, you're better off just giving them a move order instead of an attack order. Ah, there you go. Shelling this position with my artillery. He's a little out of range, so I figured I would throw in my general to try and knock him out. Try and slow these guys down. Banshee bazookas have given up, but I think they cleared out the enemy artillery. Yep. This is all that's left of this position. So this civil war is definitely coming at a high body count. I'm going to charge his guys in the forest, but it looks like they reared up at the last point. Not sure how. He's not quite formed up into square, but yeah, my horses are getting destroyed, so I don't want to lose my general. Yeah, he's in square formation now, so I want to pull out my general. My artillery is getting kind of dangerously close to my men, so at least I forced him into square, which is then going to allow my infantry to get some shots on. Come on, general, you better get your ass out of there or you're going to get shot. So there you go. We can see my general emerging, and now I think we're going to get some volleys to cover my men. Hopefully they've reloaded. There you go. Now we shoot into a target-rich environment. His guys have 85 men. And we are winning that. So now I'm just going to pull in the rest of my guys. We can pop open this map. You can see all that's left is these couple of enemy units here. They're going to reform, turn about once they have the sort of the sloping hill to cut off my guys from firing. And then he's going to knock off the first couple of units here, the Banshee bazookas that are still somehow alive. And yeah, given a couple more volleys, they're going to break. So there they go. But not after I've done significant amounts of damage to his units in the woods. Can't even find them anymore. They must have shattered. Yeah, this is some dense foliage. Yeah, either that or they've stopped moving and have stopped firing, which prevents me from actually seeing them. There you go. They pop back out. So 82 of them still alive, so this could potentially be bad for me. They outnumber my own guys here, but thankfully I have a couple more volleys going into the mix. 79. Yeah, he's gonna start killing this unit. 43. So I'm gonna. That's a unit lost. That's not good actually. He can destroy my unit there. Over here he does have the flank on my guys, so I have to be a little careful given that I'm pretty exhausted. So once more, let's go ahead and take a look at my artillery. They've limbered up and they'll be moving once again up into position. Try and help out my guys. I need to get them closer. Yeah, you can see my guys actually ran out of ammo. Which one is this? This force. So I'm losing men at the extremity of the range of my artillery support. This is all I have to push through. Now I do have Nizam further down the line who are going to be coming back into the fight soon, but they are nowhere near enough to engage in this battle. So he is doing pretty well. He's got the woods to help him out. And now the combined fire, let's see if this is able to do anything. He's going to move up on my flank. Scary, scary sight. Thankfully they hadn't reloaded yet, so I have a couple seconds until they do. And here comes a couple of his volleys. My general's going to try and get here in time. Let's see if he actually does. A couple of his men are starting to get their volleys off. Boom, thank God. Okay, before he got the main volley on my flank, I forced him into square with my general. Horse is going to rear up, going to lose a couple of my general's units. One of them decides, fuck the square, I'm in your square. Kicks a couple men, and there's my general over here. Thankfully, again, they were not completely reloaded. Ooh, they sniped the guy next to the general, and he's getting out of there real quick. So there you go, pulling out. So I saved my flank. It's going to allow my guys to reform. Once I broke his unit there, yeah. So now I can retrain my shots over here. And against the square, should be killing it. My artillery is going to start to unlimber. Yeah, there you go. So if he stays in square too much longer, he's going to get a nice couple of volleys into him. So this is it. Came down to the last couple of units pretty much. It is still, look at the balance bar, still pretty much in my favor. But my opponent is making me fight for it. In the beginning, he kind of threw all his men into me. It was a little easy, but now he's making me fight for these last couple of units. That's for sure. Here comes the artillery support. And that's when these guys know that it is time to pack up their bags and go. There you go. Brave little drummer boy. Sounding the retreat, and they have shattered. So my general is going to be sicked against them. Hope my artillery doesn't hit my general's unit. Holy crap, that was close. But yeah, there you go. So I'm going to chase those guys down, make sure that they are shattered so they don't come back. And now I can face all of my guys against this last unit. And I believe he's going out with a noble, heroic charge. So here he comes on the right. Going to be charging into my men. One of the things you can do when your opponent charges you is form up into square. It just makes it so you hold out a little longer. When he does that, he wraps around your flanks, and that's fine. As a square, you don't really have any flanks, and it allows you to then have your guys position on the side and shoot all of his units. So you can see me already starting to redraw my lines, so I can, yep, there you go, kind of shoot into the mass of men. A little bit of a dangerous move, but his guy broke at the last minute, so that's going to be just about it. Man, how confusing is this fight? Redcoats against redcoats. But there you go, that's the end of the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a very interesting fight. I've never really done an Ottoman civil war, let alone played too many battles as the Ottomans. Very fun match. Let's go ahead and look at some of the unit statistics just to see who got the most number of kills. Looks like the Janissaries 124, CFI Cavalry 123, Janissaries 118. So most of the killing was done in close quarters combat, it seems like. So that's pretty cool. And my howitzer is doing a decent amount of kills here and there. So a fun battle. My general even getting 11. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.